Lisa's thesis. My name is Mark, I am 18 years old, and was a history major in college specializing in Victorian history. That is until I met a girl named Lisa who was studying for her PhD in psychology. It was a typical day in the early fall. Was still very warm and I had come out to the commons to sit and bask in the noon sun while I read one of the books I had discovered in the library. I was really fascinated with the Victorian-style clothes I was seeing. The unique thing about it was these were young boys all dressed in female clothing. I couldn't tell from the pictures I saw that these individuals were not female. Deep inside, I had a secret fantasy of dressing this way and the pictures really turned me on. I didn't notice at first, but an extremely beautiful young woman had come and sat on the bench across from me. The first thing I noticed was her unique and delicate perfume. It had a most intoxicating aroma and filled me with erotic excitement. I couldn't believe how much her perfume alone had aroused me. I looked up to see who it was, and was greeted with a most beautiful vision of female perfection I had seen. A small gust of wind came and blew several of her papers along the bench she was sitting on. As she scrambled to get them, I got a most beautiful glimpse up her dress and saw she was wearing a pair of soft pink romper panties. I just had to meet this girl. One of the papers she was chasing had by chance come to rest at me feet. This was the perfect opportunity. I grabbed the page before the breeze could carry it away. I walked up to her and said, "Are you missing this?" She gasps and turns around suddenly. She quickly sits on the bench and pulls the hem of her dress down. She blushes. She had on a most adorable short pink sundress with puffy sleeves and delicate lace. She also had her hair tied in 2 ponytails. I couldn't believe how adorable she looked. I introduced myself, "My name is Mark. One of your papers flew across the way and I managed to get it before it got lost." She looks at me bewildered for a second and then smiles. She says softly in a very sweet, delicate voice, "Thank you very much. That's part of my report due today in English Lit. Would have been terrible to tell my professor that the wind got it." We both laugh. I ask, "What's your name?" "My name's Mark and I'm trying my best to major in Victorian history." She giggles softly and replies, "My name's Lisa. I'm studying psychology and am trying my best to get a PhD in psychiatry. I am to the point where I have to do research and collect physical data to defend my thesis. I have, so far, been unable to find anyone willing to be the test subject." I sit on the bench beside her and help her sort the disheveled pages. Her perfume is soft and delicate, but its effect on me is incredible. I ask, "What kind of research are you doing?" It's possible I might be able to get someone to volunteer if I knew more about it. She giggles again and says, "I'm doing my thesis on regression therapy and the curative effects it has on many psychological issues like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder." I had never heard of regression therapy before and was curious. I ask, "What, pray tell, is regression therapy?" She looks at me with her bright green eyes and says, "It's where an adult is taken and reduced to an infantile state. The subject would be treated as a baby in all aspects until the psyche of the individual takes on the desired characteristics. Once this state is achieved, we simply retrain the individual back into the desired adult state." I know the expression on my face was classic. I saw her smile. I began to shake my head. I say, "I see why you can't find volunteers. I doubt very seriously if anyone would voluntarily take part in that study." She drops her head as she put the newly arranged report into her book bag. She sighs and says, "So far, I tend to agree with you. But, I feel somewhere on campus there's an individual who would love nothing more than to be in diapers and dressed as a little baby. I just know it." I could feel an excitement about this prospect in me. Only thing was, I didn't want that with this girl. What I wanted had absolutely nothing to do with babies, except for maybe the end result. She looks back up and asks cheerily, "What's that book you have been staring at so intently?" She points to the book on Victorian children's clothes I had in my hand. I smile and open the book to the page with the teenaged boys dressed in baby girls' clothes. I show her the page. I ask, "What do you see wrong with this picture?" She scoots over beside me. Oh man, this girl really turns me on. She takes the book by one edge and looks intently at the picture. It was a picture of what looked like a very young and very cute little baby girl. She was dressed in a very short baby dress with puffy sleeves and a ribbon tied around her waist. It had a Peter Pan collar with delicate lace all around the hem and sleeves. The dress was held out by a really stiff crinoline petticoat. Underneath, you could see the lacy pantaloons. She had ponytails, and the hair was curled into cute ringlets. She shakes her head and says, "All I see is a really cute little baby girl all dressed up." I laugh and reply, "It's not a little baby girl. It's a little boy of about 13. She gasps and looks closer at the picture in the book. Unless you read the page or the caption under the picture, there was no way to tell it was a 13-year-old boy. She looks back at me. There was a strange sparkle in her beautiful green eyes that made her even more attractive. She said with a laugh, "And I suppose you have absolutely no desire to dress that way?" Her question caught me by surprise. Yes, I did have a secret desire to be dressed that way. I know my expression gave me away in the split second before I got myself under control. I replied with a strange lilt to my voice I couldn't control at first. "Why, no. Why would you say that?" She giggles sweetly and replies, "Oh, nothing. Just it's sorta odd to see this particular book." I recovered and replied quickly, "It's part of the history crap I'm studying." She says softly, "I do like the clothes though. With a little modernizing, they would be really cute." I was really attracted to this girl and she seemed very friendly. I began to think up ways I might get her in the sack. It would be a whole lot of fun and I was more than horny now. An idea came to mind. I said, "Well, how would you like to come over to a party a friend of mine is having?" She looked at me and asked, "There's a party?" I replied, "Sure. A really wild party where, you know, everyone all gets drunk, has a really good time. Besides, almost everyone on campus will be there and you may find a subject for you study." She said sweetly, "I just might at that." "Okay, you're on. When and where?" I reply, 7 o'clock at number 51 Albatross Lane. Just as the bell rings, she giggles and says, "Okay, I'll meet you there 7 sharp. Bye, I have to go to class now." She stands gracefully and is gone. Her wonderful hypnotic perfume lingering in the air. I am really turned on. Many thoughts run through my mind on how I am going to have sex with Lisa. I remember the thing my friend gave me. Said to use it when I had to have a sure thing. What was the name of it? Oh yes, Rippenall. The party. I have on my sharpest party suit. I look like $1 million. My fingers keep playing with the small tube in my pocket. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun with Lisa tonight. I show up and park my car. Just as I'm almost to the front door, a baby blue Lotus Europa pulls into the parking area. The gull wing door pops open and out pops Lisa. She is amazingly dressed. She has on a soft powder blue halter top trimmed in lace. She has on a pair of boy short hot pants. She has her hair in ponytails tied with matching powder blue ribbons. She is a living doll. I know I am going to enjoy her tonight. She sees me and waves, then shuts the gull wing door. She runs up to me and takes me by the elbow. She says, "I'm glad you invited me here with you. I don't think I know anybody and it'll be good to be here with someone." I say, "You are gorgeous tonight. A real living doll." She giggles sweetly and leans against me. She gives me a very nice kiss on my lips. She says softly, "Thank you, Mark. You look very handsome yourself." I am extremely aroused and am very uncomfortable as I start to pinch slightly in my crotch. I will have to arrange my privates better when we get in the house or I'm going to be extremely uncomfortable. I walk with her up to the door and into the house. There are a whole lot of people here already and the party hasn't even gotten started good yet. Many people take notice of me and especially her. I take her over to a love seat that has only 2 places and seat her. I tell her I have to use the men's room and ask her what she wants to drink. She giggles and basically only wants a soda, which is fine, to start. I go to the men's room and rearrange my privates so my very aroused self will not be pinched anymore. I again check my pocket and touch the tube resting there. I smile with anticipation of the sexual fantasies I am going to enjoy with Lisa tonight. I wash my hands, leave the men's room and go to the bar. I order a beer and a soda for Lisa. I contemplate putting some of the contents of the tube in her drink, but decide against it. It's too early in the evening and people might notice. I take the drinks and go back to the love seat where Lisa is sitting. There are already several other men hanging around and one sitting in the seat beside her. Lisa is being friendly, but she keeps refusing any of the overtures offered. She sees me and tells the man sitting beside her that that seat is reserved for me. He refuses to leave it. She just gets up, takes the soda from me and takes my hand. She asks, "Where to now?" Seems some idiot stole your seat and doesn't have enough courtesy to give it back. All the guys standing around the love seat staring at us begin to hassle the guy sitting really badly. I suggest, why don't we take a slow dance? That way we can talk and drink our drinks and not worry about sitting for a while. She agrees, okay, sounds like a plan. Then maybe we can spot another place to sit. We go to the dance area. She is up against me as we dance. I can't help myself. Between her perfume and her outfit, not to mention the fact she is absolutely adorable, I have a full erection a cat couldn't scratch. Lisa doesn't seem to mind as she holds herself close to me and chats away. We talk about anything that comes to mind. I find I am really starting to like Lisa, but that doesn't deter me from what I want to do with her tonight, it only reinforces it. We see another place the 2 of us can sit for a while. We walk over and I seat Lisa. I tell her not to let anyone sit this time, while I'm gone to the bar to get us another drink. This time Lisa wants a strawberry daiquiri. I make a detour to the men's room again. I am starting to get blue balls. They hurt some. I have been so seriously aroused for so long. When I walk out of the men's room, I see Lisa waving to me. I walk over and see she has already gotten the drinks. She tells me that there are a few people walking around taking orders. I sit and take a long drink of my beer. Lisa's head is turned. I reach into my pocket to get the tube. It's gone. I haven't a clue as to where it might be. I feel something creeping rapidly into my head. I feel suddenly like I have had way too much to drink. On just 2 beers? No, this isn't possible. I see Lisa looking at me with a really great smile and an impish twinkle in her eye. I see the tube in her fingers. I gasp. The last thing I hear is Lisa saying sweetly, "Guess I've found my subject, baby girl." Awakening. I wake slowly. My head feels like there's someone pounding on a drum inside it. I have little memory of how I might have gotten into this predicament. I have something in my mouth. My mouth is very dry and I need some water or something. I reach up to remove the object. I can't. There's something on my hands preventing it. I open my eyes. Thank goodness the light is dim. What little there is increases the pounding in my head. I see my hands. They have some kind of mittens on them. I can see a small little golden lock. My vision clears. I am in a crib. I sit up quickly. This proves to be a very bad idea. My head pounds as my head swims. The room seems to tilt to one side. I grab one of the crib rails as best as the mittens on my hands allow and sit with my eyes closed for a bit as the dizziness and nausea pass over me. I am truly confused. When my head clears just a bit, I open my eyes again and look around the room. I am in a large crib. It is very obvious I am also in a nursery of some kind. I still have no memory of how I came to be here. I look down at myself. I am in a diaper and a pair of pink romper panties. There is lace around the waist, leg openings, and many rows across my bottom. There is some kind of thing sewn into the waistband of the panties too that enables them to be locked on. I have on a jumper top that has a little white lamb on the front and large ruffles around the hem. There is a harness strapped to me and several chains running to 2 plates bolted to both sides of the crib with thick bolts. I am not intended to get out of this crib nor to be able to do anything for myself. One thing I am soon going to be desperate to do: go pee. I see a door open and in walks Lisa. No. Lisa says cheerily in a cooing sweet baby voice, "Good morning, baby Amy. How is baby this morning?" The only noises I can make are grunts and muffled gurgles because of whatever is in my mouth. I see Lisa has a syringe with a very long needle. I am very afraid I am going to be stuck. Lisa walks to the table beside the crib and places the syringe on it. She softly caresses my head. She says in the same voice, "When baby Amy's hair grows longer, I will have her in ponytails. She will be a very cute little girl." I struggle to stand. Because of the way I am harnessed into the crib, the best I can do is get up on my knees. I am making as much noise as whatever is strapped in my mouth will allow me to. My head swims and I feel really nauseous, but I am determined to get away. After a few minutes, I give up. I realize struggle is futile. Besides, I feel really rotten. Lisa smiles. She shakes her head and then says, "You will find you can't escape. Struggle if you wish, but in a few days, you will not want to anyway." She picks up several papers from the table beside the crib and shows them to me. I can't believe what I see. They are a release form and a consent form. They have not only my signature and my thumbprint on them, they are notarized and signed by the head of the Department of Psychiatry and the head of the State Board of Mental Health. There is a third paper. It is a mental competency declaration saying I am mentally incompetent. It is signed by a judge and the head of the State Board of Mental Health. It also gives Lisa universal power of attorney over me. She says softly, "You were right, going to that party was a good idea. I did find someone who would be the subject of my study. Because of the date rape drug you so graciously provided me with, I proved over the course of last 2 weeks you were mentally incompetent. Everyone has been eager to protect you and allow me to treat you." She puts the papers on the table beside the crib and picks up the syringe. She continues with a really devilish sparkle in her green eyes, "Don't worry, baby Amy, in about a month you will be the perfect 6-month-old baby girl. Of course it will take several years as a baby before we can even begin to retrain you as an adult woman." I struggle hard. I am yelling at the top of my lungs. The only sound that come out is a muffled groan. Lisa giggles and says, "Serves you right, you perverted idiot. I am so glad I was up against you. I would have willingly made love to you until I accidentally put my hand in your coat and found the Riponol. You are a perfect subject for my study. I will not only regress you to infanthood, I will ensure you want to be a female as you are, rematured. We have the funds available for your sex change operation when the time comes, and it will come. Enjoy yourself, baby Amy. I know I will enjoy stripping you of not only adulthood, but of manhood as well." She takes me by the back of my head. She is more powerful than I would have thought. I see the needle. I feel her pushing it firmly into whatever is in my mouth. I can feel a liquid enter my mouth that I cannot help but swallow because of the way the object is in my mouth. There is a lot of liquid too. She pulls the needle out of the thing in my mouth. She smiles. She says in that cooing baby voice, "Now, baby will feel so much better soon. From this moment on your new name is baby Amy. You are a 6-month-old baby girl and will be treated as such. Between the drug inducement and the physical and mental training, you will soon become just that. She kisses me softly on my forehead as I struggle vainly to get free. She turns and leaves. I begin to feel so very strange. I realize too late I am peeing in my diaper. I feel the warm wetness as it slowly creeps down the front of my diaper and around between my legs. I can no longer be on my knees and I lay back into the crib. I am totally mind blown over what has happened. My last thought before I fall back asleep. I wonder what it will be like being a girl.